Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're digging into something pretty fundamental. The principles behind personal success and maybe even the law of attraction, pulling directly from, well, one of its most influential modern teachers. We're looking at the ideas of a guy who really built a global coaching business based on principles he used to turn his own life around. And the hook, the thing that grabs you, is that he frames success as something you consciously build. You work towards it. And he started from, well, let's just say, not a great place. High school dropout, felt totally useless, deep in debt until he was 26.
Yeah, that's a key part of the story. It suggests success isn't about luck or, what you're born with. It's about your internal programming. And the core idea we're really diving into today is that it all starts when you make a clear decision. That's it, even if you have no clue how you're going to get there.
Just deciding is the first step.
It's a critical step. Think
Yeah.
about Wernher von Braun. When JFK asked what it would take to get to the moon, a huge, almost impossible goal back then,
Right.
von Braun's answer wasn't about the rockets first or the budget. It was simply the will to do it. That decision, that will.
The will to do it.
Exactly. And this source material argues that making that firm decision, well, it sort of flips your brain onto a different wavelength, a higher frequency, as they put it.
Okay, higher frequency. That can sound a bit out there for some listeners. What does that mean practically?
Well, think of it psychologically. It's like you're engaging your brain's filtering system differently, your reticular activating system. Suddenly you start noticing things, opportunities, people, resources that were probably always around.
You just didn't see them before.
Precisely. Because your mind was tuned to the, let's call it, the lower frequency of problems or debt or why it's impossible. The decision retunes your focus.
Okay, that reframes the starting point really well. So let's look at the proof, the story itself. Bob Proctor, age 26. You mentioned the debt, high school dropout, working odd jobs.
Yeah, bouncing around, earning maybe $4,000 a year, but owing $6,000. So really underwater.
And then came the turning point. He meets Ray Stanford.
Right. And Stanford gives him a copy of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. But not just gives it to him.
He insisted he read it, like really read it, daily.
Exactly. And crucially, Stanford told him to do one more thing. Write down his goal on a card and carry it. Read it every single day.
And the goal he picked?
$25,000, which, remember, compared to his $4,000 income and $6,000 debt.
That's astronomical. Just seemed impossible, I bet.
Completely. An enormous amount of money for him at that time. But the power wasn't just the number. It was the shift in focus.
Ah, right. Because before the card, all he could think about was the debt collectors calling him.
Exactly. You become what you think about. That's a core tenet here. If all your mental energy is on debt, you stay stuck in debt. The card forced him, maybe for the first time, to consistently think about earning money, about achieving something positive.
From what he owed to what he could create.
Right. That definite demand, impressed on his mind daily, started to break that old scarcity loop.
And the results were, well, pretty staggering. He starts this cleaning business with just one office.
Just one small contract, Canada Starch, I think it was.
Yeah.
$30 a month.
And in less than 5 years.
He owns a company cleaning offices not just in Toronto, but Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, even London, England.
Wow.
And his personal income jumped from that $4,000 a year to $14,500 a month.
$14,500 a month. That's what, $175,000 a year back then? When the fire chief in his city was making maybe $11,500 a year?
It's an incredible leap, and it leads to this really interesting point the source makes about wealth.
Which is?
That riches, real wealth, it doesn't just come from hard work alone, or even honesty alone.
Yeah.
Those things matter.
Okay, so it's not just about grinding harder.
No. The source says wealth comes in response to definite demands based upon the application of definite principles. The hard work came after the definite demand was set by that goal card. The goal set the principle in motion. The work was the follow-through.
All right, so you set the demand, the goal. Then the philosophy shifts to actually using the tools we apparently all have to make it happen. These 6 higher mental faculties.
Yes. And the argument is quite bold. The only real problem anyone has is ignorance. Ignorance of these innate tools we possess.
These faculties are what make us different, right? Creative beings, unlike animals who just react.
Exactly. Animals operate through their 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. They react to the environment. We have these 6 mental tools that allow us to create our environment.
So what are they? Let's break them down.
Okay, first is perception. This is huge. It's not what happens to you, but how you choose to look at it, your viewpoint.
Your interpretation.
Right. Then you have the will.
Hmm.
This is your focus power, your ability to hold one single idea or image on the screen of your mind to the exclusion of all distractions, like von Braun needing the will to do it. Concentration.
And the source says concentration increases the amplitude of vibration.
Yeah, think of it like turning up the volume or the intensity of your focus. A stronger, clearer mental picture has more power. Then there's reason, our ability to think, to choose thoughts, accept or reject ideas.
Okay. Perception, will, reason. What else?
Imagination. This is the powerhouse, really. It's where you build the image of what you want. You see yourself already there, living from that future state.
Like Goethe said, before you can do something, you must first be something.
Precisely. You become it in your imagination first. Then there's memory. The claim here is that everyone actually has a perfect memory.
Really? Perfect. Mine feels far from perfect sometimes.
Well, the idea is the faculty is perfect, but it's weak because we never consciously develop it. We rely on phones and notes instead of exercising that mental muscle.
Okay, interesting. And the last one.
Intuition. This is described as a mental faculty that picks up on vibrations. Feeling, essentially, is your conscious awareness of these vibrations, your gut feeling, your inner knowing.
Intuition. That's fascinating. How do you develop that? The source says something counterintuitive, doesn't it? About focusing away from yourself.
It does. It's about shifting your focus entirely onto the other person or the situation.
Hmm.
If you're worried about yourself, how you sound, how you look, what they think your energy is all tied up internally.
Okay.
But if you become genuinely interested in the other person, really listen, try to understand their perspective, remember their name,
Yeah.
your intuitive faculty kicks in. You start picking up on the subtle cues, the energy, the things unsaid. You stop projecting your own stuff and start actually receiving information from the environment.
Okay, so if we all have these 6 amazing tools, perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, intuition, why isn't everyone achieving massive success? Why do really smart people still get stuck? They know they could do better, but they just don't.
That brings us to the big obstacle. The source material calls it the paradigm.
Paradigm, what exactly is that?
It's basically your programming. A multitude of habits, beliefs, and conditioned responses lodged deep in your subconscious mind. It comes from genetics, your environment, everything you've absorbed growing up. And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
This paradigm controls something like 95–98% of your habitual behavior, automatically, regardless of what your conscious mind, your intellect, knows is right or better.
Wow. So your subconscious habits are basically running the show most of the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's this great example from the source about insurance agents back in the 70s. They used to collect payments door to door called debits.
Right. I remember hearing about that.
Well, then banking changed, automatic withdrawals came in, and the actual job of collecting debits vanished.
Yeah.
Intellectually, these agents knew there were no more debits to collect in the morning. But their paradigm, their deeply ingrained habit, was go to the office in the morning for debits, sell insurance in the evening. So even though the debits were gone, many of them would still drive to the office every morning, maybe shuffle papers, because the behavior was so programmed. They knew better, but they weren't doing better because the paradigm was in control.
That's a powerful illustration of being stuck in a pattern. So how do you change this paradigm if it's so deeply rooted?
It's tough. The source identifies really only 2 ways. One is rare and usually traumatic, a massive emotional impact. Think like a near-death experience or a huge life event like 9/11 for those directly involved. It can shatter old patterns instantly.
But you can't exactly plan for that.
Right. So the method we can control is the second way. Repetition. Constant spaced repetition of the new idea, the new behavior you want to install.
This is where things like affirmations come in, or
Yeah.
writing goals down daily.
Exactly. And that specific technique mentioned writing your goal or affirmation out, say, 100 times a day with your non-dominant hand.
Why the non-dominant hand? That
Yeah.
seems awkward.
That's the point. Writing normally is automatic. It's controlled by the existing paradigm in your subconscious. But using your non-dominant hand, it's slow, it's clumsy, it requires intense conscious focus.
Ah, so it forces your conscious mind to engage directly with the new idea.
Precisely. It helps bypass the old automatic programming and impress the new thought more deeply.
Okay, let's say you start doing this. You set a big goal, you're writing it out, you're trying to change. Then what happens? Often fear kicks in, right?
Absolutely. And that's called the terror barrier. It's that moment when your intellectual idea of change, let's call it X, starts to get emotionally charged and feel real. You move towards it, and suddenly, bam,
Yeah.
Anxiety, doubt, fear, that's why.
The fear feels overwhelming.
It does. And if you retreat from that feeling, if you don't push through that terror barrier, you snap right back into your old comfort zone, what the source calls safety bondage. You're safe, but you're stuck.
How do you push through that? He used his own story about public speaking, didn't he?
Yeah, Bill Gove was a famous speaker. And seeing him, Proctor apparently had this realization. If Gove can do it, I can do it. That broke the limiting belief that it was impossible for him.
So seeing proof it's possible helps.
Definitely. And then he adopted a practical strategy for managing the fear while speaking. He called it talk to the lights, not the dark.
Talk to the lights, not the dark, meaning?
Meaning focus your attention on the people in the audience who are engaged, smiling, nodding the lights. Ignore the ones who look bored or critical, the dark. But even more importantly,
Yes.
shift your focus from your own nervousness to the service you're providing. Why are you there? What value are you offering? When you focus on giving, on serving the audience, your self-consciousness tends to just dissolve. So if we boil all this down, the whole philosophy into practical daily actions, what are the essentials? The source material really emphasizes 3 core habits for consistent growth.
Okay, the non-negotiables.
Number 1, study every single day. Feed your mind with positive, growth-oriented information, books, programs, whatever works for you. Keep learning.
Makes sense. What's number 2?
Have a mentor. Find someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve. Learn from them. Don't try to figure everything out yourself from scratch.
Stand on the shoulders of giants, basically.
Exactly. And number 3, have a goal. A clear, specific, written goal that you focus on daily. This is what creates that definite demand and focuses your will.
Study, mentor, goal. Got it. And underpinning all this, there seems to be a strong emphasis on giving, on generosity.
Absolutely. That's seen as crucial for aligning yourself with, well, the flow of abundance or universal law, however you want to frame it.
He tells that story about his mother, doesn't he? During the Depression or the war.
Yeah, it's a powerful one. Money was incredibly tight, yet she heard about a family nearby who couldn't afford coal for heating. And she took $10, which was a huge amount then, maybe a week's wages or more,
Wow.
and just gave it to them, even though they barely knew each other. Just gave it so they could buy fuel. That act, giving freely even when you perceive lack yourself, that's the principle in action.
That really speaks volumes. It connects to gratitude, maybe.
Definitely. And that leads perfectly into the final 3 sort of universal truths or lessons he always emphasized, the legacy ideas.
Okay, what are they?
First,
Sure.
live in the now. The past is history. The future is imagination. Your power is always in the present moment. That's where you act.
Right now.
Second, be grateful. Gratitude is called the antidote to all stress. If you're feeling stressed or worried, shifting to gratitude can apparently change your whole state. Wallace Wattles talked about this too.
Gratitude as a problem solver. And the third?
Give. Always look for ways to help the other person. Focus on providing value, on contributing. It seems to be the key to receiving.
So, wrapping this all up, the core message seems to be that we all possess this incredible infinite potential. Our fundamental nature, our, let's say, spiritual DNA is perfect. We're capable of amazing things.
That's the assertion, yes. We are spiritual beings having a human experience capable of creating perfection.
But the thing that gets in the way, the only thing, is this conditioned programming. The paradigm. It keeps pulling us back to our old results, our comfort zone.
That's the whole mechanism in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You consciously set a goal, make that definite decision. That act flips your mind, your brain, onto a specific frequency of vibration. And then the law of attraction, which is really just a secondary law to the law of vibration.
Okay.
It simply responds by bringing into your life the people, circumstances, and resources that resonate with that frequency you're holding through your focused thought and feeling.
So the final thought for you listening right now, if you're really honest with yourself, you probably know deep down that you can do better than you are currently doing. There's more potential in you.
That very feeling, that knowledge that more is possible for you.
That itself suggests the problem isn't needing more information or some external fix. The answer lies in changing the internal programming, the paradigm, that's holding you back from acting on what you already know. So the question becomes, what's the one habitual behavior, the one limiting pattern that you will choose to consciously disrupt starting today? And how will you use that principle of constant spaced repetition, maybe even that awkward non-dominant handwriting, to force your conscious attention onto installing a new, better program?
And if you want to go deeper into the source ideas that really kicked off this whole line of thinking for so many people, the recommendations are clear. Definitely check out Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, and U Squared by Price Pritchett. Start there, dig in, and begin applying these principles, see what happens.